Do you actually remember your life the way it really happened? Or have you been slowly rewriting it without even noticing? Think about this carefully. Right now, there is at least one memory in your head that feels completely real, clear, emotional, certain. And it might be wrong. Not slightly inaccurate, not missing details, completely wrong. And the worst part is, you have no way of knowing which one it is. Think about your childhood. Just one moment. Maybe it's summer, sunlight, you're outside, running somewhere. It feels warm, safe, simple. But pause for a second. Are you remembering that moment? Or are you remembering the last time you remembered it? Because those are not the same thing. Your brain doesn't store memories like videos. It stores fragments, pieces, emotions, loose details. And every time you go back to a memory, your brain rebuilds it from scratch. Which means you're not replaying your past, you're recreating it. And every time you do, you change something. A tone of voice, a facial expression, the way someone looked at you. Small changes, almost invisible, until they're not. Do that enough times, and what you're left with isn't the original memory. It's a version that fits who you are now. You don't remember what happened. You remember what makes sense to you today. Which means some of your most certain memories might have never happened the way you think they did. That argument you still replay in your head, the one where you think you should have said something different, there's a chance you're arguing with a version of that moment that never actually existed. And somehow, your brain keeps updating the script every time you revisit it. Now, let's make this personal. Think about a time someone said something that stuck with you. Maybe a teacher, a parent, a friend. Something like, "You're not that talented. You're too quiet. You're not ready." You remember it clearly, the tone, the feeling, the impact. But here's the uncomfortable question. Did they actually say it that way? Or did your brain slowly sharpen the words every time you replayed them, turning a small moment into a defining one? Because your brain isn't trying to tell the truth. It's trying to build a story that explains who you are. And stories need clarity. They need meaning. They need cause and effect. So your brain edits. It cuts out contradictions, adds emotion, rearranges importance. It builds a narrative that feels right. But feels right is not the same as is true. Your brain is less like a camera and more like an editor. It decides what matters, what stays, what gets amplified. And sometimes it creates details that were never there. This isn't a theory. Scientists have shown that people can develop vivid memories of events that never happened. Not vague ideas, detailed scenes, conversations, emotions, even specific environments. Memories that feel completely real but are entirely false. So now ask yourself something honestly. How much of your past is actually accurate? And how much of it is just a story you've been telling yourself for years? Now take it one step further. Look at your life today. The risks you avoid, the opportunities you don't take, the things you believe you're not capable of. Where did those beliefs come from? Most likely, from your past, from what you remember. But if those memories are distorted, then those limits might be too. Which means you might be making real decisions based on memories that aren't even true. Decisions about your career, your relationships, your confidence, all influenced by a version of the past that has been edited over and over again, inside your own mind. That's not just interesting, that's dangerous. But at the same time, it's incredibly freeing. Because if your past isn't fixed, then neither are you. You're not trapped by what happened to you, because what happened has already been reshaped dozens of times inside your own memory. Which means you've been rewriting your story this entire time, just without realizing it. So what happens if you start doing it consciously? Not by lying to yourself, not by pretending everything was perfect, but by changing the meaning. That failure you keep going back to? Maybe it wasn't proof that you're not good enough. Maybe it was just an early version of you figuring things out. That rejection you still remember? Maybe it didn't define your value. Maybe it just changed your direction. Because maybe the biggest illusion is that the past is permanent, when in reality, it's been evolving every single time you remembered it. Which also explains something interesting. You probably remember your worst moments far more clearly than your best ones. Not because they mattered more, but because your brain kept replaying them, refining them, strengthening them. Your brain loves drama. It makes the story feel important. But importance doesn't equal truth. So here's the real question. If you can't fully trust your memories, why do you trust the limits they created? Maybe you're not who you think you are. Maybe you're just believing a version of your past that's been edited too many times. And if that's true, you have a choice. Keep living based on a story you never consciously wrote, or stop for a moment and ask yourself, if I stopped believing this version of my past, who could I become today? Because maybe you were never broken. You just remembered yourself that way. And maybe the most powerful change you'll ever make doesn't start in the future, but in the moment you stop blindly trusting your past. If this made you question something, even slightly, that's where change starts. And if you like ideas that shift the way you see yourself, stay here, because the next thing you believe might not be as solid as it feels.